Shalom, shalom wa ahaba, mishpaka, shalom wa ahaba. Peace and love, family, peace and love. I want to say shalom to the whole house of Yasharel, all 12 tribes scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And I also want to say shalom to the sojourners, the Gentiles, and the foreigners, mishpaka, and all those who give thanks, honor, and praise to the Elohim, or God of the Bible, and his only begotten Son, Yahushua HaMashiach, to whom many of us refer to as Christ. Hallelujah, mishpaka. Mishpaka, I want to share something with you today that was shared with me while I was on the plantation. And most of the things that I focus on this platform are things that deal with the healing of the nation. You understand? I speak to all people, but I focus in on my people because that is to whom we are called to. You understand? The lost sheep of the house of Yasharel, or Israel, Mishpachah. And one of the things that we have to do when it comes to rebuilding our nation, we have to rebuild our community. And in order to rebuild our community, we must rebuild the root and foundation of the community, which is the family. The family, the man, the woman, and the child, you understand? The Israelite man, woman, and child. The Negro man, woman, and child. The so-called black man, woman, and child, Mishpachah. And one thing that I would, or that I have been brought privy to, well, I understood, but I didn't know the numbers, which is why I want to share this video with you today from this Islamic brother. I don't really know where he's at, who he's from. I don't know his name. If it come back 10 years from now and this brother ends up being some kind of terrorist or something crazy like that, I'm giving a disclaimer right now, but I want to share this information that the brother is speaking in this video with my people, because part of the main reason why our people cannot build strong families is because we're up under the pornographic spell that we have been put up on over here in these divided states of wickedness. You understand that, Mishpachah? Our entire culture is pornographic. Our music, our movies, you know what I'm saying? What we do for fun, our so-called weekend, you know what I mean? You go to a so-called club, and what do you see? You see pornographic behavior. Everything in there is revolving around sex. You understand, Mr. Picard? And that is the reason why we have yet to be able to rebuild ourselves in the way that we were before so many things were done to us back in the 50s and the 60s, and those things that helped to destroy the black family, removing the man from the house, bringing in the drugs, feminism, you know what I mean? Placing the woman at the head of the household. All of these things that have turned our households upside down and prevent us from building a nation. You understand that, Mr. Picard? One of the main things that they are using against us, and the tools that they are using against us, is so-called pornography. And I want to share this with you. Now check out what this brother has to say. Listen to the numbers, Mr. Picard. Hallelujah. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. Check it out.
One of the vice presidents of one of the biggest pornography websites out there, he says boastingly that we have about 11 petabytes worth of content. Do you know how much that is? That's about 7,000 years worth of filming. And that has come into the household of the average child, let alone the average adult. And they say now that the average first exposure of pornography, watch out for your children, dear brothers and sisters, is around the age of 8 to 9 years old. Imagine. In a study that was done in the year 2020 by the Journal of Sex Research, they found that over 90% of men and over 60% of women had consumed indecent content within the last month of that survey. So that's your average church goer, that's your average friendly masjid goer, that's your average colleague. There is nothing to suggest that they are not all victims of the same statistic. It is a musibah, a calamity. And one of the studies that happened in the year 2002, where 350 divorce lawyers were interviewed, 60% of them said that the divorces we dealt with, pornography was a chief contributor in the breakdown of that relationship. 60%. It all begins with this.
See that, Mr. Picard? It all begins with the eyes. We have to stop taking in this poison if we are to rebuild ourselves. I could testify to that, Mr. Picard. Like I always tell y'all, before I came into the truth, I was strip club wallpaper. But the Most High had to bring me into an event where I wrecked my motorcycle and almost was in a near-death event. He had to baptize me in blood to break me out of those demonic spells and strongholds that I was up under. You know what I'm saying, Mr. Picard? But I can honestly tell you that when I stopped looking at porn, my drive to go anywhere, any type of strip club, any kind of club whatsoever, Mr. Picard, it dissipated and disappeared. You understand that? And before we get out of here, what two scriptures? You know what I'm saying, Mr. Picard? Proverbs. Mishlei, more commonly known as Proverbs, tells us that in chapter 11, verse 20, it reads, the perverse of heart are an abomination to Yahuwah. So when your mind is perverted, you are disgusting to the Most High Yah. Hallelujah. And if you drop down to verse 22 of the same chapter, Mishlei, Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 22, it says, like a ring of gold in a pig's snout is a lovely woman who lacks good sense. And it ain't good sense to either be out there putting your body on the TV screen, having sex on the screen, nor it doesn't make any good sense to be watching that filth, you know what I'm saying, and putting it into your mind. You know, that Greco-Roman culture, which was rooted in the elites of Rome sitting back and forcing the slaves to have sex while everybody sat back and watched. You know, that's the root of pornography, Mishpachah, and we must put a fire on it if we are to heal the black family. And with that, Mishpachah, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, and always remember to keep the fire burning. A little more oil in my lungs. Hallelujah, Mishpachah. Keep your eyes open, stay prepared so you don't have to get prepared. And remember that your redemption is near, Mishpachah. Clean your mind, clean your soul. You understand, and return to the ways of the Most High Yah, and return to righteousness. Hallelujah. Until we meet again, Kumar Yasharel, Kwam Yasha'Allah, Raz, Yisrael, Shalom, Shalom, Salama, Mishpachah. Hallelujah.